From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
What's going on, nerds? And welcome to this week's episode of Nerds Review House of the Dragon. We have reached the finale.
Draggies.
Draggies?
It's draggies.
Oh, like the birds, I guess. Okay. But it is the season finale. Everything we've seen up to this point kind of gets a little of a, I don't want to say bookend, because, oh shit, do I want season 2 like now? But we'll talk about it.
Season 2 yesterday.
Well, I didn't. I've had enough issues watching shit. But, Susie, what's going on? I heard your day was absolutely crazy.
My day was not too bad until the end. And then it was freaking chaotic. And of course, I couldn't even talk to my boss until tomorrow because he couldn't pop in.
Uh-huh.
So that'll be great. But I finally fit in. They finally got me my sweater. I finally fit in.
Yeah, at my job, it takes forever to get your wonderful shit to start looking like you're working there. But let's get right into it. Susie, you made a crap ton of questions, which I just saw them for the first time. Haven't read them yet, but why so many?
So some of them aren't questions. Some of them are actually literally statements. Because again, when I make questions as I'm watching something, you get all of my thoughts. Every single one of them.
I'm aware. I am very much aware.
So some of these are not questions as much as me just saying that I like something.
Mm-hmm.
Expecting you to read them before the podcast and then realizing that you don't read them before the podcast.
No, I like to be as surprised as everybody else. So,
okay.
there's that.
So on that note, AJ, here's your first question.
Dun dun.
What is your thought on Rhaenys and how she told Rhaenyra about her father?
She was blunt, like very sympathetic, but blunt about it. But I'm happy that Rhaenys went straight to Dragonstone to tell Rhaenyra and didn't divert from that. It kind of showed a little bit of a family tie there.
Well, that and it was her cousin. Like, it was her cousin. So like there was, it was important to her to like show that
some sort of compassion.
So yeah, the one thing she didn't know is whether she would stand with Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
So
which
her
honestly,
cause in there
I
was
didn't
not
know.
pledging her support for Rhaenyra, but for the familial side of the support. Going, I understand what you're going through, and I'm sorry that you weren't there to bury your father.
Yeah. Well, actually, I found out in the book they let him rot for like 2 weeks, which is very, very dark and very, very messed up.
Yeah, but if you look into the history of the kings, a lot of them, I think that's how they ended. That's what ended up happening.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you look at history, and to some extent, that's what always ended up happening is like they would rot for like 2 weeks, but they wouldn't rot, they would embalm them.
Yeah.
But they would sit for 2 weeks before they actually did anything with the bodies. And the belief was that it gave time for the soul to actually leave the body and to enter a realm.
All right, so what is question number 2? And everybody, I don't think I need to tell you because if you've watched our other episodes, we go in spoiler heavy, people. We always go spoiler heavy.
Oh, this is so spoiler heavy. It's not even funny. Because this is 2 questions in one.
Of course it is. You're making my brain hurt already.
Thoughts on the princess's birth scene and how Damon is ignoring her struggles, but also in addition to that, thoughts on her commanding while still on her birthbed.
Uh, my actual reaction, everybody watching at home, it's going to be very gruesome here. So little ones, turn away, please. You have like 2, 1. My reaction right here. Very awkward, very creepy. She was like, I can deal with it. Fuck you, people. Fuck you, people. Damon was completely not wanting any part of that, mostly because all he is doing is seeing red right now.
Well, I think not only that, but traditionally the men aren't in the birthing room
Oh, but that mother,
for the birth.
she was calling him, and usually when your
Well,
queen
yeah,
calls you,
because
you go.
yeah, but if you listen to her later in the episode, it's because of how her father raised her.
Mm-hmm.
She was raised to be a center,
Yeah,
a focus. She's to keep the peace, and Damon is plotting war. And
I
that
felt
literally
so
was the
bad for
whole reason.
Renice though.
She knew that Damon was plotting war.
I felt
I
so
love
bad
Nice
for
this
Renice.
whole episode. This whole episode, I love her Nice. Her facial expressions, just everything
Yeah,
was amazing. It was absolutely on point. Did it suck the way that she got treated? Yes. But everything was on point. Absolutely on point.
I feel bad for the stillbirth though.
I do too. And I mean, the question that I have um as part of that is on her pulling the baby from her. Is it reminiscent of her mother's birthing scene in the beginning? And I feel like it is because I feel like we started with a very, very gruesome birthing scene and we're ending with a very
Well,
gruesome
what do you
birthing
think about
scene.
the glimpses of a dragon? Like, what was that about? What do you think that was about?
Oh, so what I think is that the glimpses of the dragon are Rhaenyra's dragon. And I think that they're in tune. They've known each other for so long. She's in tune with Rhaenyra's pain, and so she's feeling Rhaenyra's pain. So every time Rhaenyra screamed, she's feeling it too.
Dragon's probably just sitting somewhere like, I didn't do a fucking thing. This is bullshit. That's sorry, that was supposed to be funny. What you got next, Suze?
1 second.
All right. 2,
Um,
3.
why do you feel that Rhaenyra has to do all of this on her own? She wouldn't even let the midwives help her with this
Uh,
whole thing.
I think
And I think it has to do with control. I think that like they took control away from her.
they don't want her to have
So I think this entirely had to do with
no signs of weakness from
control.
Rhaenyra. I think that's exactly what it is. If you take
Mm-hmm.
help, um, that you are not still in control with that help, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It's a sign of weakness, and she didn't want to sound weak, and she wanted to do everything kind of on her own to still show dominance over people.
Yeah. And she wanted to have control over one aspect of her life.
Yeah, no shit. No shit.
Thoughts on everyone bending the knee to Rhaenyra?
I thought it was dope. I thought it was a
I
heck of a. All right, now the battle lines have been pretty much drawn. All we just have are a couple outliers, which we'll get into by the end of the episode. Yeah. Who wants airline sushi?
I rude. I no. I great. I can't unsee it. Um I particularly like the fact that everyone bent the knee to her. I particularly like that one of the knights that was adamantly against Aegon taking the throne went and bent the knee to Rhaenyra.
And he brought the crown.
But I also he brought the crown. That was awesome. But I also think that it was particularly important that it was done on her daughter's deathbed. On the day of the funeral pyre, like everybody's bending the knee.
Yeah,
And
and
I think that kind of shows.
did you realize who wasn't bending the knee though?
Bernice.
Yeah. Do you think
Did
she's
you
just
notice?
do you think she's just sitting back seeing, all right, I'm going to see how this plays out before I pick a fucking side?
Actually, I don't think that. I think there's a level of respect for Rhaenyra. And I think because of her age, Rhaenyra doesn't expect her to bend the knee. Technically, Rhaenys never swore anything to Rhaenyra. And Rhaenys has already said, I don't know who I am pledging my loyalty to. Rhaenyra's fully aware of that. So I feel like she wasn't expecting Rhaenys to bend the knee, but there was a moment, and you saw it. They looked at each other, and there was a moment of respect. Okay, so my entire thought process was, I love how this episode is almost entirely the Black Party.
Yeah.
I want the table. That's really cool.
That table was badass, not going to lie.
I don't know that I feel like that table would be warm and would be awesome to play games on. I have issues. It's fine, people.
We're aware.
Yeah. Thoughts on Damon and Rhaenyra discussing her oath versus ambition and anger. And the reason I bring this up is because of the scene with Damon and what happens. And I think to some extent, anger got the best of Damon.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But I think they're reacting on two wholly different levels.
He's a complete hothead.
I think Damon is looking at it that Rhaenyra has been insulted. Damon has been insulted. And those are acts of to go to war for. Like, you have been insulted. You're not allowed to grieve for your family because you're being told that you can't come to King's Landing to grieve for your family, and that you have to bend the knee to the king. Whereas Rhaenyra, her whole thing is, I made an oath. I'm fulfilling my oath by keeping the peace.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not yet decided how I'm keeping that peace. So I don't know, maybe you disagree with me, but I feel like they're on two different wavelengths, and it takes them a little bit to get on the same wavelength.
No, I get it. I think as we'll probably see in season 2, you'll really start to see Damon probably start doing even more of his own stuff and kind of like asking for forgiveness later, kind of thing. I don't know if you see that.
I kind of see that, but I also see that she is going to respect Damon's decision no matter what he does. So I don't feel like he's going to look for forgiveness. I think she's already going to have given it because she's going to understand he's doing what he thinks is right. So I don't know how you felt about the scene with Lord Corlys.
When he comes
but
and
I love his strength.
kind of bends the knee.
No. Before that.
Oh, where he wakes the fuck up?
Rhaenys is sitting at his bedside and he's talking to her, and you see his strength. You see his, I just want to go home. I don't want any part of this. Let's not be part of this. Until Rhaenys is like, those are your grandsons. Like, they're caught in this. We need to do something. And he didn't want anything part of it because Rhaenyra killed his son. And like we all know, that's not true.
Yeah.
So.
And I got to give a huge shout out to Rhaenys there. She straight up went to bat for Rhaenyra and says, out of everybody in this whole kingdom, Rhaenyra is the only one that has shown restraint to not having bloodshed.
She's fighting to keep the peace. She's sitting in that room where everybody's plotting war, and she's remaining steadfast. She doesn't She's letting them plan the war,
Yeah.
but she's holding back. We're not doing anything yet. Um. Okay, Mister. I don't like creepy dungeon thingies.
Oh shit.
What did you think about the crypt? And 'cause my question here is: Damon brave or desperate?
Very, very desperate.
Dude, that dragon was freaking creepy.
That dragon probably definitely adds something to Team Rhaenyra. Especially since they're about to
Yeah,
be down a dragon. And a son. Airline
they
seafood.
do.
Airline sushi.
So thoughts on the events at the Baratheon stronghold, not the sushi part,
Okay.
the rest of it.
Well, that wasn't at the stronghold. Aegon beat him there. Or Aemond beat him there.
Aemond.
100%. I know, I fixed it. Aemond beat them there, and he offered something that Luke couldn't. And it worked. And then come in afterwards, give me your eye, and threw the knife at him. And that's a very nice sapphire eye.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was tense. I thought it was very tense. A very well-rounded scene of you just showed up too late with nothing to offer. You're gonna lose.
Also, I do appreciate I do give Baratheon props with he came here as a messenger, not as a warrior.
Mm-hmm.
You do not touch him. Well, in my roof.
Yeah.
Under my roof, you do not touch him. Like I do appreciate that. So the Green Party has made the first move, killing Luke.
I don't.
Thoughts on Aemon and how he must be feeling?
Well, honestly, you saw both Aemon and Luke try to calm their dragons down because I feel like the dragons just went rogue.
Oh, Luke's dragon was trying to escape.
Yeah, but we heard Aemon say, "Listen to me," and that his dragon went rogue. 100%.
Hold on. Which one are you talking about, Luke or Aemon?
Aemon's dragon went rogue.
Because Luke, at the start of that scene, says to his dragon, "Listen to me, obey me."
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
all of that stuff.
Aemon says it too.
That's more. I think for Luke, Luke is uncomfortable flying a dragon, so he's reminding the dragon who's in control.
Yeah.
However, I made a very good point in my little thing here. This started as a game. Aemon had no intention of killing Luke.
No, just freaking him out. That's it.
And then it turned into a real hunt because you have now turned that dragon. Oh, I get to chase the other dragon? Cool. Let's aim to kill it because he's a predator. And the other dragon's itty bitty. So clearly someone doesn't understand the power of dragons and is about to find out.
I think it was Viserys.
You're a freaking Targaryen.
I think Viserys said it the best. I think he said it the best. I was like, it's only an illusion that we control the dragons.
Yeah, it is. There's a respect there. And clearly, yeah. I'll think of Aemon's dragon's name in a little bit. There's no respect there. If you look at Rhaenyra and her dragon, they grew up together.
Yep.
They grew up. There's a respect. So Rhaenyra's dragon is going to listen to her. The same thing with Luke's dragon. They grew up together. They're more apt to listen to each other. Aemon went and took this dragon. There is no respect there. Yeah, there's a bond, but there's no respect. So why is the dragon supposed to listen to you? The dragon was somebody else's who died.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't. Dragons are not a force that you can control.
Vhagar.
So on that,
Vhagar.
Thank you, Vhagar. I knew it started with a V, but like.
Seems like everybody's name begins with a V.
So Rhaenyra's look at the end of the episode.
Oh, oh fuck. Somebody
Daemon
done
walked in
stepped
and
in
told
it.
her,
Doo-dah, doo-dah.
yeah. And I feel like Rhaenyra's gonna do the thing where she shows up at King's Landing and is like, "You fucking killed my son.
Uh,
A life for a life. Debt is not paid."
Aemon might be next.
Yeah. But I think Aemon's a little screwed up in the head now because he did not intend for Luke to die,
See,
and Luke died.
I honestly thought I was seeing him start to crack a smile.
I think he cracked a smile, but I also think that because if you watch him, he was looking to see where Luke's body was.
In his
Like he was
dragon,
going to save Luke's body.
it was inside the dragon.
Yeah. So somebody got a lot of explaining to do.
Oh, Alicent
Um
is going to rip his asshole a new one.
yeah, yeah, she is. She doesn't Alicent, for all of her faults, does not want war. She
No,
does not want to fight Rhaenyra.
no, she doesn't.
Rhaenyra does not want to fight Alicent. But that's what it's going to turn into now that you've killed one of Rhaenyra's kids.
So, you want to hear something really funny,
Um,
Susie? When it comes to that final scene,
what?
I thought it was Aemon
Mm,
coming to tell Rhaenyra what happened.
I did too. I did too. And it wasn't until I saw Damon's face and watched him back off, I was like, oh, I thought it was Aemond. Because it would have been more effective. It would have been more appropriate if it was Aemond coming and,
He might have died right there.
okay, it wouldn't have been more effective, but like, he would have died right there. But Rhaenyra would have had greater respect for Aemond coming and going, "I screwed up.
I done fucked up.
I screwed up. I done fucked up." Rhaenyra would have had more respect for that than, Daemon being the one to come tell her.
Yeah, exactly. So what else we got?
So what are you most looking forward to in 2024 for season 2? Because it was announced that it's coming in 2024.
I'm kind of aggravated that we have to wait that long. Number one. Number two, we're gonna see another Stark. And number three, I want to see the fightings of the dragons, like the actual
God.
competitive fighting of the dragons, not the I'm way bigger than you, like the size of thy planet, like the world serpent from Game of Thrones, God of War. But I want to see something that isn't just devoured in one bite.
If we're gonna see some dragon fighting, I'm definitely looking forward to Stark. Um, Mainly because a Stark never forgets. Like they always remember their oaths. So I'm kind of wondering if Stark is actually going to keep their oath to Rhaenyra or give it to the new king. And I really think they're gonna keep it. They're gonna give it to Rhaenyra. I think they're gonna follow Rhaenyra.
Yeah, I think so as well.
And um,
I just thought of something
one of
funny.
the things that I was what
Aemond, when he gets back to Alicent, I done fucked up. Can we call the wall? I hear they have an opening.
Yeah, actually, that would have been appropriate. That probably would have stopped the war too. Sending aim to the wall. Bye. Um, so my TikTok has been blowing up with Game of Thrones, like everything.
No shit.
So I've been watching all the Starks, returns to Winterfell. I've watched Arya greet Jon, and Jon greet Sansa, and Sansa greet oh my God, I had his name a second ago, Theon. Um,
I thought
so
Theon was dead.
and that's all I've been thinking about. Theon
Oh, never
Greyjoy?
mind. Yeah,
He's not dead when they're all greeting each other.
yeah. My brain.
The beginning of the season.
I thought you were talking about the actual cast. My bad. Shut up. Nobody asked. Shut the hell up, Susie.
Okay. Okay. Um,
Shut up your face.
so that's what's been playing on my TikTok. And I saw an interesting theory that kind of got debunked. Um, but there was an interesting theory that Daemon is going to become the Night King. And I want to know your thought on that.
I thought the Night King was a Stark.
So we're pretty sure the Night King is a Stark. We're also pretty sure that the Night King has been around for longer than the Targaryens have ruled.
Mm.
But I was just, wondering if you think Daemon could have been the Night King in a different universe.
That would be a real interesting way for them to go, but I don't see it.
Do I? But if they were to redo all of Game of Thrones, then yeah, I could see Daemon being the Night King.
Yeah.
But like we don't know who it was, but we know that it happened before the Targaryens took rule. So there's no way it could be Daemon.
Mm-hmm.
But it was one of those interesting ones that I saw, and I was like, ooh, I need to ask.
Of course, make my brain hurt even more, Susie. Bad enough, you're
Welcome.
going to do that tomorrow night, and then Sunday night.
Well,
You'll end up just hurting my brain somehow. We could be hanging out, just chilling, and you'll just ask me a question, be like, so what do you think about this? And I'm like, I wasn't expecting to have a test done today. And don't even do that to me where you're like, no, that doesn't happen. Yes, it does.
just saying, there's ice right there.
I don't need ice for any burns you give me, or will. About Epcot. Is that it, though? Are we...
That's it.
All right, Suze, where can people find you?
Apparently giving you burns.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, those weren't supposed to happen.
License slander. Don't lie.
You can find me about to broadcast a race on the Wheels America Cup Series with a very special car in the field being driven by the one and only Brandon Shelton. He's got
I have to look up his name.
No. There was another name that popped in my head. But no, Brandon Shelton is running a very special car with a very special person's name on it. Because it's the last race of October, so it's breast cancer awareness race. And it's got your mom on there, Susie.
Aww.
I can pull strings. AJ, good boy.
AJ's always a good boy.
Nah, that's not true.
Look. Just because you like to cause trouble does not mean you're not always a good boy.
I'm a very entertaining boy, let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's throw it over to Rob Paulson here while he can do the rest of it.
Okay.
Hey, you guys, this is 625 here from Lilo and Stitch. Some people think of me as A.J. Coppola. I don't care. Just follow me on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, Twitch at NDTA Jalistar15, and Xbox and PSN at AJ All-Star 15. I should have said AJ All-Star, but I'm a sandwich maker. What the hell do I know? Do yourself a favor. Go get yourself a hot fudge marshmallow tuna fish and ham sandwich. All right? Take care of yourself. Goodbye.
And that is pretty much it. I cannot wait for season 2. Unfortunately, it comes back in 2024. Susie, it looks like something just hit your brain.
Oh, it did, but I'll play later.
Oh, dear. And then
might be marathon game again. No.
Oh, shit. And right before we end up closing up shop, you got Ryan Fry in the chat, friend of the show. The only Frey left says the dragon did it. No shit, the dragon did it. And as I'm always going to call it, made himself a little airline sushi. But
I cannot unsee it now.
Peace out, everybody. We'll see you probably
on the flip side.
Thank you, because my brain was farting there. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.